Preemptive is adjective, acting to take the place of something or someone, especially by having priority or priority rights. Made or taken in advance of an expected event or situation in order to prevent it from happening or to control its outcome. The preemptive strike prevented the enemy from attacking first. The company took preemptive measures to prevent a data breach. The preemptive apology was appreciated by the customers. The government issued a preemptive warning to the public about the impending storm. The preemptive action taken by the authorities prevented a major disaster. Involved is adjective, complex, intricate, or complicated in nature, having or requiring a lot of participation, effort, or attention. The project is very complex and involves many involved parties. The parents were very involved in their child's education. The investigation into the crime was very involved and took months to complete. The employee was involved in the decision-making process. The novel has a very involved plot. Base is noun, a fundamental or underlying principle or component, the lowermost part or bottom of something. The military base was heavily guarded and housed thousands of soldiers. The chemist added a base to the solution to neutralize the acidity. The baseball player made it to third base before being tagged out. The factory built a new base for the large machine to sit on. The artist used a base of white paint to create a clean background for the painting. Base is adjective, not genuine or authentic, not morally respectable. Her argument was baseless, with no evidence to support her claims. His base instincts led him to make the wrong decision. The politician's remarks were base and offensive, causing widespread backlash. The movie was criticized for its base humor and crude jokes. The athlete's base level of fitness allowed him to easily complete the marathon. Appropriate as verb, to set apart for or assign to a particular purpose or use. To take for one's own use without permission or legal right. The company decided to appropriate funds for the new project. The government appropriated land for the construction of a new highway. She appropriated a portion of her salary for charity donations. The artist appropriated images from various sources to create a collage. The writer appropriated dialogue from real-life conversations to make the story more authentic. Appropriate as adjective, proper or suitable in the circumstances, fitting or right, suitable or fitting for a particular purpose, person, or situation. She wore an appropriate dress for the formal occasion. The music played at the funeral was appropriate and respectful. The book had appropriate content for children of all ages. The teacher selected an appropriate textbook for the course material. The company had an appropriate dress code for the workplace. Ambivalent as adjective, having mixed feelings or contradictory attitudes towards something or someone, simultaneously experiencing or displaying opposing emotions or attitudes. His ambivalent feelings towards the new job made it challenging to decide whether to accept the offer. She had an ambivalent attitude towards change, feeling both excitement and anxiety about it. The public's reaction to the controversial policy was ambivalent, with mixed opinions about its effectiveness. Her ambivalent emotions towards the decision were evident in her hesitant responses. He remained ambivalent about the proposal, torn between his desires and practicality. Apogee is noun, the highest or most distant point in an orbit or trajectory. The point in the orbit of the moon or a satellite at which it is farthest from the Earth. The satellite will reach its apogee or farthest point from the Earth in just a few hours. The company's stock price reached its apogee last year, but has since declined significantly. The athlete's career reached its apogee when she won a gold medal at the Olympics. The novel was considered the apogee of the author's career, and it went on to win numerous awards. The apogee of the Roman Empire is generally considered to be during the reign of Augustus. Champion as verb. It can be used in the sense of fighting for or defending something or someone, to support, promote, or advocate for something or someone. The coach was proud to champion his team to victory. She championed the cause of animal rights and worked tirelessly to raise awareness. The celebrity used his platform to champion various charitable organizations and causes. The senator championed a bill that would provide more funding for education. The company's CEO championed a culture of innovation and encourages employees to take risks. Chortle is noun, a chuckling or snorting sound expressing amusement or joy. He chortled gleefully upon hearing the amusing anecdote from his friend. The children chortled with delight as they played together in the park. She couldn't help but chortle when her pet performed a playful trick. The old man chortled softly at the memory that crossed his mind. The comedian's joke made the entire audience chortle uncontrollably. Chortle as verb, an expression of amusement or joy, characterized by a combination of chuckling and snorting sounds. To chuckle or laugh gleefully or with delight, often audibly. His loud chortle echoed across the room, drawing attention to his amusement. She couldn't help but emit a joyful chortle after hearing the punchline of the joke. The toddler's infectious chortle made everyone in the room smile. His sudden chortle during the serious meeting disrupted the solemn atmosphere. The comedian's witty remark elicited a hearty chortle from the audience. Corroborate as verb, to confirm or support with additional evidence or information, to validate or back up with further proof. The eyewitness testimony corroborated the security camera footage, providing strong evidence against the suspect. The scientists' research findings were corroborated by independent studies conducted by other research teams. The witness statement corroborated the victim's account of the events leading up to the accident. The forensic evidence corroborated the prosecutor's theory of how the crime was committed. The internal investigation corroborated the whistleblower's allegations of misconduct within the company. Deign as verb, to agree, consent to do something considered lowly or beneath one's status. To condescend, to consider it beneath one's dignity, but do so anyway. The celebrity didn't even deign to acknowledge her fans as she rushed past them. The professor only deigned to answer the student's question after he had finished his lecture. The queen reluctantly deigned to grant an audience to the commoner. The wealthy businessman rarely deigns to associate with those he considers beneath him. The celebrity chef deigned to share one of his secret recipes with the audience. Emulate as verb. Imitate the behavior or actions of someone or something, typically in an attempt to equal or surpass them. Try to match or surpass the achievement of another person or thing. The young musician tried to emulate her favorite composer by studying his works and style. The company wanted to emulate the success of its competitors by adopting similar marketing strategies. The athlete was determined to emulate his father's success as an Olympic medalist. The fashion designer's new collection emulated the style of the 1920s. The student hoped to emulate her mentor's dedication to social justice by volunteering at a local charity. Entrenched as adjective. Difficult to change due to being firmly established or deeply rooted. Firmly established, deeply rooted, or ingrained, often referring to ideas, practices, or attitudes. The company's policies were deeply entrenched and resistant to change. His beliefs were so entrenched that he refused to consider alternative perspectives. The political ideologies became entrenched over generations, resisting modifications. The culture of the community was entrenched in tradition and history. The practices of the organization were deeply entrenched in its founding principles. Expunge as verb. To erase or eliminate something completely. To strike out or remove a record or entry, often used in legal or official contexts. The lawyer tried to expunge the evidence from the trial. The editor decided to expunge the offensive comments from the article. The accountant had to expunge the erroneous data from the report. The artist decided to expunge the unsatisfactory parts of the painting. The company had to expunge the outdated products from its inventory. Hector as verb. To act in an overbearing or threatening manner towards someone. To intimidate or bully someone, especially through the use of size or strength. The bully liked to hector his classmates, making fun of them and teasing them relentlessly. The boss would hector his employees until they got the job done. She would hector her husband until he agreed to go on vacation. The coach would hector his players during practice until they improved their skills. The teacher would hector her students until they completed their assignments on time. Transmute as verb. To change or transform from one form, nature, or substance into another. To convert or alter the properties of a substance through a chemical process. The alchemist tried to transmute lead into gold. She hoped to transmute her anxiety into motivation. The company wanted to transmute their negative image into a positive one. He was able to transmute his anger into compassion. The artist was able to transmute her pain into art. Volubility as noun. The ability to use language with ease and quickness. The quality or state of being fluent or easy to express. Her volubility in public speaking impressed everyone. The politician's volubility was his strongest asset. The salesman's volubility helped him close the deal. The writer's volubility made her books hard to put down. His volubility was a sign of his nervousness. Bumbling as adjective. Behaving or acting in a clumsy, awkward, or inefficient manner. Characterized by clumsiness or ineptitude in actions or speech. His bumbling attempts at fixing the machinery only made the situation worse. The bumbling waiter spilled drinks on several patrons during the evening rush. She made a bumbling effort to explain the complex topic, confusing her audience further. His bumbling mannerisms often led to awkward social interactions. The bumbling in turn struggled to complete tasks efficiently, often making errors. Indecorous as adjective. Lacking good taste or propriety. Unbecoming or inappropriate. Not in keeping with what is considered to be socially or morally correct. His indecorous behavior at the formal dinner embarrassed his guests. The indecorous language used by the speaker was offensive to many. The indecorous clothing worn to the job interview was inappropriate. The indecorous jokes made during the meeting were not appreciated. The indecorous conduct of the politician tarnished his reputation. Macabre as adjective. involving or dealing with dark, disturbing, or horrifying subjects, often associated with death or the gruesome, suggestive of the gruesome or the supernatural, evoking a sense of horror or unease. The horror movie had a macabre atmosphere, filled with eerie scenes. The abandoned house had a macabre history that intrigued many. Her artwork portrayed a macabre beauty, combining darkness and artistry. The story took a macabre turn, leaving readers chilled. The cemetery at night had a macabre ambience that sent shivers down the spine. Serendipity as noun. The act of making fortunate discoveries by chance or luck, leading to unexpected and pleasant outcomes. The occurrence of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way, especially when such events are unexpected or unplanned. Their chance meeting was a stroke of serendipity that changed their lives. The project's success was attributed to a stroke of serendipity in the early stages. The bookstore owner's serendipity came from finding rare books in unexpected places. The discovery of penicillin was a result of sheer serendipity. The author's best ideas often came from moments of serendipity. Aboveboard is adverb. Openly and honestly, without deception, without secret or ulterior motives. The real estate agent was proud of his reputation for always conducting business above board. The journalist made sure to follow all ethical guidelines and keep his reporting above board. The politician promised to run a transparent and above-board campaign. The company assured us that all of their dealings were above board. The lawyer insisted that all of her clients' actions were completely above board. Amok as adverb, in a frenzied, uncontrolled, or wild manner, often describing behavior or actions done recklessly or uncontrollably. The kids are running amok playing wildly in the park. Informal usage indicating uncontrolled play. After the game, fans went amok, celebrating enthusiastically. Colloquial usage to depict wild celebrations. When the news broke out, rumors spread amok, causing confusion. Informal expression suggesting chaotic spreading of rumors. With sales soaring, competitors were marketing amok, trying to keep up. Informal use implying intense, competitive marketing. She searched amok for her misplaced keys, checking everywhere. Informal use indicating a frantic search. Constraint as noun. A condition or circumstance that limits freedom of choice or action. Something that restricts or limits. The budget constraints prevented the company from investing in new technology. The artist viewed the limited color palette as a creative constraint that sparked new ideas. The time constraints required the project to be completed within a tight deadline. The legal constraints prevented the company from launching a product that did not meet safety standards. The athlete's injury put significant constraints on his ability to perform at his best. Enthrall as verb. To captivate or hold the attention of someone completely. To charm or delight someone. The book was so enthralling that she couldn't put it down. The audience was completely enthralled by the performance. The beautiful scenery enthralled us during the entire hike. The magician's tricks were so enthralling that everyone was captivated. The historical artifacts on display at the museum enthralled the visitors. Euphoria as noun. A feeling or state of intense happiness, excitement, or delight, often characterized by a sense of well-being and extreme positivity. An overwhelming sense of elation or joy, often experienced intensely and temporarily. The team's victory brought a wave of euphoria among the fans. She experienced a moment of euphoria when she received the job offer. The discovery of the treasure brought euphoria to the archaeologists. The announcement of the award filled her with euphoria and pride. After weeks of hard work, the completion of the project was met with euphoria. Even-handed is adjective. Fair, impartial, and unbiased, treating all parties, sides, or individuals equally and without favoritism. The judge was praised for being even-handed in his rulings. The manager was known for being even-handed and fair with all employees. The journalist's even-handed reporting earned him a reputation for being unbiased. The teacher was even-handed in her grading and treated all students equally. The mediator was able to resolve the conflict by taking an even-handed approach. Hubris is noun. A sense of overbearing pride or self-confidence that results in disregard for others or consequences. Excessive pride, arrogance, or self-confidence, often leading to a downfall or ignoring warnings or advice. His downfall was a result of his excessive hubris and arrogance. The nation's history was marked by the ruler's hubris and disregard for counsel. Her persistent hubris prevented her from acknowledging her mistakes. The team's defeat was due to their overconfidence and hubris. The company's downfall was attributed to the CEO's unchecked hubris. Indigenous as adjective. Native to a particular region or country. Inherent to a particular place. Originating, growing, or produced naturally in a particular region or environment. The indigenous people of the region have a rich cultural heritage. The plant is indigenous to this area and cannot be found anywhere else. The indigenous language of the tribe is in danger of becoming extinct. The indigenous art is highly valued in the art world. The indigenous customs and traditions are respected by many. Misattribute as verb. To incorrectly attribute or assign something to the wrong source, person, or origin, often resulting in a mistaken understanding or interpretation. To wrongly credit or ascribe something to someone or something else. It's crucial not to misattribute the success solely to one individual. People often misattribute the quote to the wrong author. The media tends to misattribute intentions without proper investigation. It's easy to misattribute the cause of the problem without thorough analysis. She didn't want to misattribute credit for the project's success. Moment as noun. A brief period of time, an instant or a point in time. She felt a moment of panic when she realized she had left her phone at home. The musician savored the moment as the audience erupted into applause at the end of her performance. He knew this was a moment that would change his life forever, so he took a deep breath and stepped forward. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he opened up to his friends about his struggles with anxiety and depression. The photographer captured the perfect moment as the sun set behind the mountains, casting a warm glow over the landscape.